Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Kristen, and you've entered into a curious place where we hang out and do nails together. Today, I'm making a set inspired by this smiling flower. I had casually wondered, what is this icon all about? Like, what does it mean? And why do we put it on our nails? The answer to this innocent question ended up being way bigger than I ever imagined. I'm excited to share with you what I learned, and if you like this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. Everything I'm using today will be listed down below, and if you have any questions about what I'm using or what I'm doing, please just ask me down below in the comment section. This video is going to be kind of a mix of me talking about this icon and its history and its meaning and all that stuff. And I'll come in every once in a while to talk about the nails as well. I'm sculpting a smile line using acrylic on top of full cover nail tips. This was my first time trying that technique, and the footage was blurry for the entire application. So I just left in this one clip so that you can kind of see what I'm doing. Alright, so we can't really talk about this iconic image without first discussing its creator, Takashi Murakami. So that's where we're going to start. Takashi Murakami was born on February 1st, 1962 in Tokyo, Japan, which means he's an Aquarius, like me. Growing up in Japan at that time, Murakami was exposed to a lot of the aftermath that came from, nuclear bombings and World War II, and kind of the increasing presence of the US after World War II. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because that had a pretty big impact on his art over the years. There was a heavy fine arts influence from both of his parents, and he did end up going to the Tokyo National University of Fine Arts and Music. While there, he received a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. That was in 1986. He also got a master's degree, and it says in what I'm reading that he also got a PhD in 1993. He studied traditional Japanese painting, but was also really heavily influenced by anime. There's a painting style in Japan where, how do I say this? It's kind of like all the planes, the background and the foreground are all kind of given the same amount of detail. There isn't a lot of shadowing to show depth. It's kind of flat. Flat is kind of like the best way to put it. And so Murakami takes this style of this kind of detailed drawing, these flatter planes, and he merges that with all these anime influences while also taking into consideration Western influences as well. Later in his career, he wrote a thesis where he coined the term superflat, which refers to this new style, this new art form that he essentially created. Actually, let's take a look at an example of what I'm talking about so that we're all kind of clear about what his specific style actually means and why it's different and unique. So let's compare the Murakami flower to a traditional Western smiley face, which is part of the influence of the Murakami flower. Okay, so if we look at the image on the bottom, it inherently has depth to it. The creator has used different colors, kind of shaded into a gradient to make this object look rounded and three-dimensional. Even the eyes and the mouth have shading in different colors to portray this depth. In the Murakami flower, he is rejecting that depth. He's rejecting that art style. Instead, creating completely flat blocks of color with no depth, no shading. It is inherently one-dimensional, and hence the term superflat. So this guy has a really extensive art career. Just for my own sanity, I'm going to really try to just stick to the smiling flower. There are a few other art projects I am going to touch on, but if you're interested in learning more, definitely check him out because he's made a few other iconic characters that I didn't realize until I was looking into it. For this next part, I'm going to read a bit more directly from a source online, and I guess I'm going to list my sources down below. I didn't know I was going to end up doing stuff like this, but here we are. Anyway, so in 1995, Murakami was studying this traditional style of Japanese painting called Nihonga. A core subject in Nihonga art is called Setsugetsuka, which translates to moon, snow, and flower. At one point, Takashi attempted to replicate the traditional Nihonga flowers over 50 times, and thus the quote-unquote flowers motif came to life. Now, while this smiling, multicolored flower might seem all innocent at first glance, the symbol holds a much darker message. The flowers motif represent the trauma and collective dark emotions that Japanese locals are still experiencing in the aftermath of the 1945 Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings. Now, I don't know about you, but when I posed the question to myself, what is this flower and what does it mean? I definitely did not guess that it would mean, or represent rather, the collective trauma of the Japanese people. I did not see that one coming. Murakami himself says, regularly in interviews and stuff that there is a darkness behind his work. There are tears behind that smile. But all that isn't just what this flower represents. There is more to it. It's also about the blend and compare and contrast between Japanese and Western culture. It's about consumption, consumerism, pervasiveness, pop culture, our society at large. Oh, and it's also about blurring the lines between high and low art. I didn't even get into that part, and it's a huge part of it. Like, when I tell you I was not expecting this to be such a big topic, wow, who knew? Let me know down below if you knew a little bit about this artist before coming to this video, or if you were kind of more like me and just like, derp derp, here's a cute kawaii flower, put it on my nails, everyone else is doing it, oh, it looks so cute, with no idea, no concept of anything going on in the background, not even the celebrity collaborations, which we're going to get into a little bit later. Regarding the nails, which have been very neglected during this voiceover, I'm doing a clear encapsulation over all the glitter. I'm using this new to me clear acrylic from Tickled Pink Canada, which is a company I'm actually an ambassador with. I'll link it down below. But they have been very supportive of me, and I like a lot of their products. I find that this clear is amazing, but it sticks in my brush a little bit. I'm getting better at it, so I usually blame my inexperience when I have trouble working with products. But anyway, I did switch from using a nice brush to using one of my older, more damaged brushes, just because I felt like I was going to mess up my good brushes because I still am learning how to work with this clear. So I guess I'll keep you posted. Hopefully that gets a bit better, but it is clear. It is the clearest acrylic that I have. Well, I've only used the Young Nails one, but I can tell that that one has yellowing to it. So, all right, I'm into filing. All right, let's take a little Zen break before we get back to life in the art world. The nails are looking pretty cute, right? Let me know down below what you think of them. I think they're very bright and cheerful, just like the Murakami flower. I'm now kind of wondering if there's a darkness underneath it. Oh my goodness. But yeah, anyway, let's go back to the exciting life of Takashi Murakami as we enter kind of like this big stage of his career. In 2002, Marc Jacobs was the head of Louis Vuitton, and he was like, "Hey Murakami, come work with me. Let's do a collaboration." And it actually started what ended up being a 13-year collaboration between Murakami and Louis Vuitton. So you know that famous Louis Vuitton print that's a bunch of logos and symbols all scattered in multicolors? Yep, that was our boy Takashi. That was his brainchild, and I couldn't believe it. Like, I've definitely seen those bags everywhere. I know what they are. They are iconic. It was such a cool surprise to find out that it was the same man behind the two projects. And the flower that is the subject of our video today also made a few appearances in collections throughout the years. So this is a good example of how he blurs the lines between high art and low art. So, you're doing these collaborations with a designer brand. Things are selling for like thousands and thousands of dollars. They're things that the average consumer cannot afford. But at the same time, Murakami's also appropriating images from those collections and selling them on like lower price point items and things like that. So there's kind of like a variety of merchandise out there with his style and logo ranging anywhere from like super, super high end, like high, not high end, but just like, the high art world to, I guess, low art. And, I bought some of these charms from AliExpress. And if that's not like, commodity at its finest, I don't know. It just really shows the range of how his work has permeated through our culture. These nail stickers are from my Hot Tips nail box subscription, and so is the glitter acrylic that I've been using. I will, of course, link that down below. And I guess this finger is kind of like replicating the vibes of those purses that we just talked about. I'm reappropriating imagery from designer brands and a real life artist and putting it on my nails that I make at home. Like, this is also juxtaposing high art and low art in a way, which is so cool to think about. And something else I've been wondering is, how does Murakami feel about, artists like me taking his imagery, reappropriating it, making it into stuff like nail art? Does that bother him? Is he really concerned about the business and money side of things, which is very possible? Or would he be more on the side that, the fact that I am even using his imagery is in effect an extension of his art, considering it is about consumerism and, things that kind of permeate our culture and create culture? Maybe me doing this is a part of his art in a way. Or not. Maybe I'm just reappropriating. And maybe I shouldn't be, but I really like doing fan art, and I'm so happy that I did this and got to learn so much about this really cool artist. So I'm about to add a chain to the nails. and it's actually like a gold plated, like a real gold plated chain. I am so tired of using like shitty jewelry on my nails that I literally just cut up this necklace to use on it. But I am channeling that like high end, that designer vibe into that nail. It is bougie. I didn't mention it earlier, but I'm using a Cricut to make custom stickers. And let me know if you would like to see a more in-depth video about how I do that. All right, next we're going to move into Takashi's collaboration with the one and only Kanye West. They met in the late 2000s and really hit it off. My theory as to why they get along so well is because they are star sign compatible. Murakami's the Aquarius, Kanye's the Gemini. They are like a match made in heaven. And especially if they're both artists, like they will never run out of things to talk about and they will be friends probably forever. So they collaborated together on Kanye's album covers. I think one, maybe two. I got kind of tired of researching, to be really honest with you. And I was also looking to see if they did a clothing collaboration, but I couldn't find it. It would make sense if they did do a clothing collaboration at some point, though. His collaborations do not stop there, though. He collaborates with jewelry companies. I'm pretty sure Crocs is on that list as well. So he's doing these, making this merchandise with these high-end collaborators. And then he's also making high art. He's doing sculpture. He's doing gallery showings. And at the same time, you can buy, knockoff artwork of his on Amazon, and it's easily accessible to everyone. Oh, and to backtrack a little bit too, he also did a collaboration with Billie Eilish. He directed the music video for her song You Should See Me in a Crown. So super cool stuff. I knew nothing. I knew none of this stuff going in. The Billie Eilish video also has the flowers. They definitely make an appearance. And in the video, they actually get killed, destroyed by this monster thing that's devastating a town. And I can't help but think back to his background and, all the trauma and stuff of the Japanese people. So yeah, that video hits a little bit different now, I would say. Nowadays, Takashi runs his own studio. He employs about 50 people, and it's very reminiscent of the workshop that Andy Warhol used to have. And I know that Andy Warhol's a big inspiration for him as well, and his work does have that pop art feel to it. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It's like this big screen printing studio with lots of busybodies always working for him, which is pretty cool. He does support independent artists as well. I'm adding a top coat right now to some of the nails, and that's a magnet that I attached to the pinky. I ended up putting a little poof on there. It's super cute. For this finger, I had been planning the whole time to put one of those chunky flower charms on it. I was saving the ring finger for that. And then when it kind of came down to it, those charms that I got from AliExpress, you can see them in the background there, they just weren't as high quality as I wanted them to be. And I kept hesitating on attaching them because I felt like the rest of the set had like a really good, consistent feel to it. And by adding that other one, that it was going to cheapen it somehow. I don't know. I should have ordered those charms from Hot Dip's Nail Box. Like, I need to know that I want better quality charms. But anyway, you'll see me I do end up attaching it, and it does end up looking nice. So yeah, we'll just keep going. See, they're looking really cute without the flower charm. But it was the whole point of the set. It was the inspiration for the whole thing, so I'm gonna put it on. Okay, time for the big reveal. Here's how they turned out. They're very cute. They're very kawaii. I think that they're lovely, and I had so much fun making them. I really didn't expect this video to be as extensive as it was, but you know, we did it. Please let me know what you think about this video. Any input is appreciated. Just leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. If you've made it to the end of this video, oh my God, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Feel free to like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel for more, and I will see you in the next one.